On Global TV News Prime, Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf officially decamped to the All Progressives Congress APC. In business, oil prices hold above Nigeria's $64.85 budget amidst Middle East tensions. On the foreign scene, United States steps up military support, intelligence sharing with Nigeria. And in sports, National Institute for Sports to verify and revalidate certificates of coaches across the country. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime on Global Television. Coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Shehu Said. President Bola Tinubu will depart Abuja today for a state visit to the Republic of Turkey. The special advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, revealed this in a statement. Onanuga said the visit is aimed at strengthening the existing cordial relations between the two countries and exploring further areas of cooperation in security, education, social development, innovation, and aviation. Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf has officially decamped to the All Progressives Congress APC days after resigning from the New Nigeria People's Party NNPP. At the official declaration of his membership held in Kano, Governor Yusuf said his decision to join the APC was taken in the best interest of Kano State and its people. Global TV correspondent Idris Jibril reports that the event was attended by top government officials and party leaders and held at the Government House, Kano. Receiving Governor Yusuf into the APC, the immediate past governor of Kano State and former national chairman of the party, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, described the governor as a man of integrity and vision. He said Governor Yusuf's decision to join the APC is a bold step towards promoting peace, unity, and sustainable development in Kano State. Meanwhile, 22 members of the Kano State House of Assembly have defected from the New Nigeria People's Party (NNPP) to the All Progressives Congress (APC). The lawmakers announced their defection during a plenary session on Monday, shortly after Governor Abba Yusuf formally resigned from the NNPP following his recent visit to President Bola Tinubu at the State House, Abuja. In his resignation letter addressed to the chairman of the Diso Chirenchi Ward in Gwale local government area, the governor attributed his decision to what he described as deepening internal crisis and prolonged leadership disputes within the party. The governor's defection was carried out alongside 22 state lawmakers, 8 members of the House of Representatives, and all 44 local government chairmen in Kano State. Still talking politics, civil society groups have called on President Bola Tinubu to urgently intervene in the political crisis rocking Rivers State, warning that actions of the State House of Assembly threaten Nigeria's democratic stability. Ubong Usoro reports.
Civil society organizations, the Conference of the Nigeria Political Parties (CNPP) and the Coalition of National Civil Societies Organization (CNCSOS), after a meeting in Abuja, expressed concerns over renewed impeachment threats against Rivers State Governor Similaye Fubara. They say following the governor's return to office and the defection of some lawmakers of the Rivers State House of Representatives, Nigerians expected reconciliation and a renewed focus on governance, but the state has instead slipped back into political tension.
Our intervention is driven by a solemn patriotic duty to defend constitutional democracy, protect the mandate of the people of Rivers State, and avert a grave political precedent that now threatens national peace and democracy. What is unfolding in Rivers State goes far beyond politics. It represents a critical test of Nigerian commitment to constitutional governance, separation of powers, and democratic stability.
The groups insist that Governor Similayo Fubara has not committed any offense that meets the constitutional requirements for impeachment under Section 188 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, noting that there are no credible allegations of gross misconduct.
Let us be clear. Governor Fubara has not committed any act that meets the constitutional threshold for impeachment under Section 188 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. There is no credible allegation of gross misconduct, no paralysis of governance, no popular uprising demanding his removal.
They described the situation as a weaponization of Rivers State House of Assembly, accusing lawmakers of political intimidation rather than democratic oversight. The group urged President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as president and leader of the All Progressive Congress APC, to intervene urgently, warning that failure to act could encourage similar crises in other states and endanger national unity and democratic stability. Ubong Usoro for Global Television News.
And to labor matters, workers of the Federal Capital Territory Administration, with the backing of the Nigeria Labour Congress, have picketed the National Industrial Court in Abuja as part of an ongoing total and indefinite strike over unresolved labor disputes. The protest followed a directive from the Nigeria Labour Congress, which declared full support for the industrial action, describing the strike as justified amidst what it termed persistent violations of workers' rights by the FCTA management and political leadership. The federal government has reaffirmed its commitment to trade facilitation and economic reforms with the launch of the Time Release Study TRS by the Nigeria Customs Service. Speaking at the International Customs Day, the Minister of State for Finance, Dr. Doris Uzoka-Anite, commended the Nigeria Customs Service and the TRS implementation team for what she described as a comprehensive and professionally executed study that aligns with Nigeria's national economic priorities. Kikelomo Kere has the details.
The Nigerian Customs Service marked the International Customs Day by launching a nationwide time release study aimed at boosting trade facilitation, improving cargo clearance efficiency, and enhancing transparency across custom operations. The Minister of State for Finance, Dr. Doris Uzoka-Anite, described the time release study as a strategic policy instrument that enables governments to measure performance, identify bottlenecks, reduce transaction costs, and enhance transparency. According to the minister, Nigeria is taking a decisive steps towards data-driven decision-making, improved competitiveness, and ease of doing business.
The TRS initiative is a clear reflection of Mr. President's pledge to the global business community for business to eliminate obstacles and create a conducive environment for businesses to flourish and for them to invest further in Nigeria.
This year's International Customs Day is tagged Custom Protecting Society Through Vigilance and Commitment. The Comptroller General of Customs, Adewale Adelin, reflects the service core mandate beyond revenue generation, including intercepting narcotic, counterfeit medicine, illegal arms, and other harmful goods that threatens public safety, health, and the environment. It disclosed that in the past years, Customs recorded 2,500 seizures nationwide, with an aggregate value exceeding 59 billion naira. It says the launch of the time release study marks a major step towards improving efficiency and competitiveness at Nigerian ports without compromising border security.
We will therefore be institutionalizing the TRS as a regular diagnostic tool, not as a one-off exercise. Our intention is to monitor, to learn, to reform continuously over future cycles.
World Customs Organization Secretary General Ayn Sander emphasized that customs protection goes far beyond fighting illicit goods, financial crimes, and narcotics. Sander highlighted the importance of strong partnership with government agencies, law enforcement, and international organizations, saying collaboration is key to securing borders and global supply chain.
The TRS is a tool for focusing the partnerships that are well established through your National Trade Facilitation Committee and the relationships underpinning the attendance at this event. It's a catalyst for developing plans for shared success.
The high point of the event was the launch of the time release study and presentation of World Customs Organization certificate to merit recipients. Beyond revenue generation, Nigerian Customs Service insists its foremost responsibility remains the protection of society through heightened vigilance across borders, highways and ports, driven by intelligence-led operations and interagency collaboration. Now, with the time release study underway, Nigerian Customs Service says it is backing enforcement with evidence-based reforms aimed at cutting trade delays, lowering the cost of doing business and boosting Nigerian competitiveness. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
Nice one there, Kike. To security matters. Gunmen suspected to be bandits have kidnapped 6 residents of Ungwar Barkono in Kajuru, local government area of Kaduna State. The attack reportedly occurred in early hours, with the gunmen breaking into several homes and forcibly taking the victims to an unknown location. This is coming barely a few hours after the Christian Association of Nigeria (CAN) held prayers for the safe return of 177 worshippers who were earlier abducted. Meanwhile, Deputy President of the Senate, Jibril Barau, has carried out an on-the-spot assessment of security operations in Kano State, urging troops to remain resolute in repelling bandits and terrorist elements attempting to infiltrate communities in the Kano North Senatorial District. The visit followed the deployment of a joint security task force comprising the Nigerian Army, Police, and the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, approved by President Bola Tinubu to curb cross-border attacks from neighboring states. Addressing residents and community leaders, the Deputy Senate President stressed the importance of cooperation with security agencies, noting that local support was critical to sustaining peace. In the meantime, the Kebbi State Police Command has arrested one Hamza Abdullahi Sama, a resident of Birnin Kebbi, over an alleged employment scam involving more than 175 job seekers across the state. A statement by the Police Public Relations Officer, Kebbi State Command, SP Bashir Usman, says the suspect allegedly posed as a recruiter for government-approved school feeding jobs, falsely claiming authority to secure placements in primary and secondary schools. Victims were reportedly induced to pay 30,000 naira each as processing fees under the false promise of employment. Preliminary investigations revealed that no such job opportunities existed and that the suspect was not authorized by any government agency. Police estimate that a total of 5.2 million naira was fraudulently collected from the victims through deliberate misrepresentation. Meanwhile, the police have cautioned the public to be wary of fraudulent employment schemes, reaffirming their commitment to arrest and prosecute offenders in line with the law. Anambra State Governor Professor Chukwuma Soludo has ordered the closure of Onitsha Main Market for 1 week following traders' failure to comply with the government's directive against the continued Monday sit-at-home. The governor announced the decision during an unscheduled visit to the market, where he observed that many shops remained shut despite his earlier declaration ending the sit-at-home order. Soludo had only last week publicly announced that the Monday sit-at-home, which has persisted for years across parts of the southeast as a form of protest, had been called off in Anambra State, urging residents and traders to resume normal economic activities. However, during his inspection, the governor expressed dissatisfaction that traders at the Onitsha Main Market were still observing the restriction. In response, he ordered the immediate shutdown of the market for 1 week as a measure to enforce compliance and send a clear message.
Yes. And the rules are that markets are open Monday to Saturday. If you are not prepared to open your shops Monday to Saturday, then leave Anambra, go to elsewhere. Simple. Period. Okay? So, this market will be shut down for the remainder of this week. It will not be open tomorrow. It will not be open on Wednesday. It will not be open on Thursday. It will not be open on Friday. It will open again on Monday.
You are watching the live broadcast of News Prime. News Prime continues after this weather forecast, plus business, foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us.
Hello and welcome to the weather forecast. Moderate doses is expected over parts of the northeast, particularly Borno, Yobe and Jigawa states. Other parts of the northern region will experience slight doses which may reduce visibility. Across the central cities, conditions will be sunny and hazy with warm daytime temperatures. Moving down to the southern parts of the country, the weather will be partly cloudy with chances of isolated thunderstorms expected over the coastal areas, especially Bayelsa, Delta, Akwa Ibom and Cross River State. And that's the weather forecast for Tuesday. I'm Sefia Yunusa. Thank you for watching.
We open the second segment with business, where the United States swung to a $1.45 billion goods trade surplus with Nigeria in the first 10 months of 2025, reversing a deficit position from the same period of 2024 as a sharp rise in American exports combined with weaker imports from Nigeria. And this is according to data from the United States Census Bureau. Between January and October 2025, U.S. goods exports to Nigeria climbed to $5.94 billion, while imports fell to $4.49 billion, leaving a positive balance of $1.45 billion in Washington's favor. This contrasted with the $1.367 billion deficit recorded in the corresponding period of 2024, marking a decisive turnaround in bilateral trade flows. The Dangote Petroleum Refinery has shifted to processing lighter crude oil in a strategic move to minimize production disruptions arising from the prolonged unavailability of its residual fluid catalytic cracker. A report said the refinery has increasingly processed lighter crude grades since the fourth quarter of 2025, allowing it to preserve feedstock availability and sustain output of gasoline. The shift has helped keep units, thereby reducing the 3,000 barrel per day remains offline. The lighter crude slate has played a critical role in stabilizing operations, even as repeated outages at the RFCC continue to cap overall refinery runs and slow the pace of ramp-up. Global oil prices remain steady, maintaining levels above Nigeria's 2026 budget benchmark of $64.85 per barrel, as ongoing supply disruptions and escalating geopolitical tensions in the Middle East continued to support the market. This information comes from market reports tracking Brent and U.S. crude. The resilience in prices provides some relief for Nigeria's fiscal planning, but also highlights ongoing risks. And power distribution companies have expressed doubt over the directive by the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, that prepaid meters must be free for all categories of customers. Operators who spoke anonymously due to the sensitivity of the matter said the minister made only a political statement without considering the input of other stakeholders, especially the installers and meter providers. Earlier, the federal government banned electricity distribution companies and installers from collecting any form of payment for meters, warning that DISCO's officials and installers found extorting customers will be prosecuted. And on the foreign scene, the United States says it is stepping up military support to Nigeria as the country continues its fight against insurgency. United States Africa Command confirmed increased material deliveries and intelligence sharing, while also revealing details of recent American airstrikes carried out in Nigeria. Mukhtar Qasim reports.
The United States is increasing military assistance to Nigeria, including the delivery of equipment and enhanced intelligence cooperation as the government battles multiple armed groups across the country. Speaking to AFP in an exclusive interview, U.S. Africa Command's Deputy Commander, Lieutenant General John Brennan, said Washington remains committed to supporting Nigeria's counter-terrorism efforts.
Trying to accelerate the foreign military sales process so they can purchase more. We've agreed in principle to various equipment sales that are probably sensitive to the Nigerians, and I would add.
Nigeria has faced persistent attacks from extremist groups, particularly in the northeast and northwest regions. Lieutenant General Brennan also addressed U.S. airstrikes carried out on Christmas Day in northwest Nigeria, shedding light on the target of the operation.
The most recent information we received from the Nigerians was it was ISIS West Africa or ISIS Sahel related. We developed those targets in conjunction with the Nigerians at their behest.
The United States military says its cooperation with Nigeria is aimed at weakening extremist networks and improving regional security across West Africa. Mukhtar Qasim, reporting for Global Television News.
Thank you, Mukhtar. Israel says it will allow a limited reopening of Gaza's Rafah crossing with Egypt when the operation to locate the body of the last remaining Israeli captives in the Palestinian territory is completed. The announcement came from the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office as Palestinians mourned at least 3 people killed in Israeli attacks across Gaza. Netanyahu's office said the Rafah crossing, which was supposed to have opened during the initial phase of United States brokered ceasefire in October, will reopen for the passage of people only. And we move to the world of sports, where the National Institute for Sports says it plans to verify and revalidate certificates of coaches across the country for effective performance, as well as to eradicate quackery in the coaching ecosystem. The Director General and Chief Executive Officer of the National Institute for Sports, Philip Shuaibu, disclosed this when the Academic Staff Union of Research Institutions paid him a courtesy visit in his office at the NIS building, Package B, at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja. According to Philip Shuaibu, the institute has cleared its data bank and will embark on verification and revalidation exercise in order to weed out quack coaches who parade themselves as NIS alumni. The Nigeria Volleyball Federation has officially unveiled the list of clubs invited to compete in the 2025 Nigeria Volleyball Federation Super Cup, Men and Women, one of its flagship competitions aimed at showcasing the very best of volleyball talent in the country. The tournament is scheduled to take place between January 30 and February 8 at the Indoor Sports Hall, Package B of the MKO Abiola Stadium, Abuja. It is expected to bring together elite teams across divisions in a celebration of excellence, competitiveness, and the continued development of volleyball in Nigeria. And as Global TV News Prime comes to an end, let's take a look at our top stories. We told you that Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf has officially decamped to the All Progressives Congress APC days after resigning from the new Nigeria People's Party NNPP. In business, global oil prices remained steady, maintaining levels above Nigeria's 2026 budget benchmark of $64.85 per barrel as ongoing supply disruptions and escalating geopolitical tensions in the Middle East continued to support the market. And on the foreign scene, the United States says it is stepping up military support to Nigeria as the country continues its fight against insurgency. And in sports, the National Institute for Sports says it plans to verify and validate certificates of coaches across the country for effective performance, as well as to eradicate quackery in the coaching ecosystem. And that's it on News Prime, but a quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using @Global TVNG. I am Shehu Said saying thanks for watching and have a very good night rest.